The rain drummed against the cracked pavement as Sophia clutched her portfolio, her breath forming small clouds in the frigid December air. Her interview at Morrison and Associates, the prestigious architectural firm, was in 20 minutes. And she was already running late. Her worn boots splashed through puddles as she took a shortcut down Blackwood Alley, a narrow passage squeezed between two towering glass buildings. The alley reeked of damp concrete and forgotten dreams. Then disaster struck. Her foot caught on a loose brick, her portfolio flew from her hands, architectural drawings scattering like wounded birds across the wet ground. "No, no, and no," Sophia whispered, dropping to her knees as she watched months of work dissolve in dirty puddles. "Miss, are you injured?" The voice emerged from the shadows near a collection of cardboard boxes. A man stepped forward, clearly homeless, with silver-streaked hair, weathered hands, and clothes that had seen better decades. But his eyes, they held an intelligence that seemed to pierce right through her soul. "Just my pride," Sophia replied, gathering what remained of her soggy designs. "And my future career." He approached cautiously, picking up one of her sketches, a community center design that had survived mostly intact. "This is remarkable work," he said, studying it with surprising intensity. The flow of natural light, the integration with the surrounding landscape. "You understand architecture as poetry." Sophia blinked. What homeless person spoke about architectural poetry? That's when she noticed the deep gash across his forearm, still bleeding through a makeshift bandage made from newspaper. "You're hurt," she said, concern overriding her own problems. "It's nothing. I've learned to manage pain." Without hesitation, Sophia opened her messenger bag. She pulled out tissues, antiseptic wipes, and medical tape, supplies she'd been carrying since her mother's recent surgery. "This will sting," she warned. "I've endured worse," he said softly, but his jaw clenched when the antiseptic touched the wound. As she worked, wrapping his arm with gentle efficiency, her stomach gave an embarrassingly loud growl. "Perfect," she muttered. "Lost my interview, destroyed my portfolio, and now broadcasting my hunger to the entire neighborhood." "I have some crackers," he offered, producing a small package from his coat pocket. "Nothing fancy, but..." Sophia looked at this stranger, someone who had nothing, yet was willing to share what little he possessed. "Only if you have something to wash them down with," she said with a tentative smile. He chuckled, and surprisingly, Sophia found herself laughing too. They sat on a loading dock ledge, sharing the crackers in comfortable silence. Sophia checked her phone, 35 minutes late now. "Well, that's it," she sighed. "The interview I've been preparing for all year is officially over." "What made you choose architecture?" he asked. "I want to build places where people can heal," she said. "Community centers, affordable housing, spaces that give hope to people who've lost everything." Something flickered in his eyes, recognition? Sadness? "That's noble," he said quietly. "And apparently unemployable," Sophia added with bitter humor. They sat in silence for a moment longer before Sophia stood, brushing off her damp clothes. "Good luck with everything," she said. "You too, Sophia." She paused. "I never told you my name." He smiled mysteriously. "You have kind eyes." Kind people deserve kind names. In the days that followed, Sophia found herself taking the same route through Blackwood Alley. The man, who told her his name was Gabriel, was always there, always in the same spot, always with that same watchful, intelligent gaze. Sometimes they exchanged greetings. Other times, brief conversations. Once, he complimented her courage when she stood up to a rude vendor who was overcharging an elderly woman. Slowly, His presence became a small but steady anchor in her chaotic life of failed interviews and dwindling savings. Then, on a particularly brutal winter evening, everything changed. Sophia found Gabriel different, shivering violently, his makeshift bandage now filthy and barely holding. The wound had clearly worsened. His face was pale, his eyes sunken, and he was clutching himself as if trying to hold on to what little warmth remained. "You still have that bandage," she said, kneeling beside him. "It's still working," he whispered, forcing a weak smile. But Sophia could see the infection spreading, could hear the way his breathing had become labored. She looked around the empty alley, weighing her options. Her tiny studio apartment had a pull-out couch, a space heater that actually worked, and a first aid kit. "I have a place," she whispered. Gabriel looked at her with a mixture of surprise and wariness. "It's nothing special. Just a small room. But it's warm, and it's better than freezing to death out here." "I couldn't." "Just for tonight," she said firmly. "One night." He hesitated, then nodded weakly. She helped him to his feet, and despite his obvious pain, Gabriel carried himself with a dignity that somehow made him seem regal. "Welcome to my palace," Sophia said, opening the door to her cramped apartment. "Ignore the mess and the smell of instant ramen." Gabriel stepped inside slowly, his eyes taking in every detail. He stopped in front of a framed photo, Sophia with a smiling older woman. "Your mother?" "Was. Cancer took her last spring." Sophia's voice caught slightly. "I take care of her medical bills now." Gabriel touched the glass gently, murmuring something she couldn't quite catch. "What did you say?" "Nothing. She just reminds me of someone I once knew." A chill ran down Sophia's spine, but she decided not to push. The couch pulls out into a bed. Bathrooms down the hall. And watch the space heater, it gets temperamental. "Just for tonight," Gabriel repeated. "Just for tonight," she agreed. That night, neither of them slept well. Gabriel lay awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling further from his true identity than ever before. Sophia tossed and turned, feeling inexplicably closer to something she couldn't name. The next morning began with the sharp buzz of her alarm clock. For a moment, Sophia wondered if she'd dreamed the whole encounter. Then she heard water running in the bathroom. In the kitchen, she found a clean plate in the drying rack and oatmeal simmering on the stove. "You cooked?" she asked, surprised, seeing Gabriel sitting at her small table with a cup of coffee. "I attempted sustenance. Consider it an experiment in basic survival." Sophia tasted the oatmeal and made a face. "It's creative. Needs salt, though." "I'm still learning," he said with a half-smile. For the first time since he'd entered her home, Sophia saw him relax. Even so, something about him didn't fit. The way he held his cup, the way he observed her space, this wasn't just any homeless man. "You look more put together today," she observed. "Having shelter works miracles," he replied, not meeting her eyes. Sophia nodded, pouring herself coffee. "I have to leave soon. 2 catering gigs and another interview attempt." "May I stay another day?" She considered. Their agreement was for one night, but he didn't seem dangerous. "Fine. But no snooping through my things, and no more culinary experiments." "Understood." No more mysterious oatmeal. As Sophia left for work, Gabriel settled onto her small couch with a book from her shelf, Urban Planning for Social Change. He opened it and began reading, turning pages with an unsettling familiarity for someone who supposedly lived on the streets. That morning, he washed dishes, organized her bookshelf, and fixed her flickering desk lamp using improvised tools. When Sophia returned that evening, she found her apartment spotless. You cleaned? Seemed fair, since I'm occupying your space. Are you trying to win me over with housework? If it's working, I could tackle that leaky faucet tomorrow. Sophia laughed, sinking onto the couch, exhausted. My day was a disaster. Got through the catering, but the interview, another rejection. You'll find the right opportunity. You just need the right moment. The way he said it, it wasn't just encouragement. It sounded like he knew exactly what he was talking about. You sound like someone who's had every door open for them. Gabriel's expression grew distant. Maybe I wasted those opportunities. The next day, while Sophia was at work, Gabriel reorganized her drafting supplies and repaired her broken desk chair using nothing but household tools. When she returned, she noticed the improvements immediately. You fixed my chair? It was bothering me. You're handy with tools. Curiosity. I've always been drawn to understanding how things work. Sophia crossed her arms, studying him. You're nothing like what I expected. What did you expect? Someone lost, barely literate, just trying to survive day to day. You've read too many assumptions and experienced too little reality, he said with gentle humor. They both laughed, and their unusual arrangement began feeling almost normal. But the peace wouldn't last. 3 days later, a sharp knock shattered the quiet afternoon. Sophia opened the door to find Mr. Henderson, her building manager, stern-faced as always. Good afternoon, Miss Chen. We need to talk. Of course. Is something wrong? We've had reports of an unregistered guest. Some residents are concerned about security. Sophia's blood ran cold. Gabriel appeared in the hallway behind her, holding a dish towel. Is there a problem? Gabriel asked calmly. Henderson eyed him suspiciously. Are you the individual in question? Sophia opened her mouth to speak, but Gabriel stepped forward. I apologize for any concern. I'm Sophia's cousin. I'm visiting from Portland while I look for work in the area. Cousin? Henderson raised an eyebrow. Gabriel extended his hand confidently. Gabriel Chen. Pleasure to meet you. Henderson shook his hand reluctantly. Just remember, building policy requires all long-term visitors to be registered with management. Absolutely. We'll handle the paperwork tomorrow, Sophia said, trying to sound authoritative. After Henderson left, Sophia turned to Gabriel. Cousin? That was quick thinking. It worked, didn't it? You're too good at improvising. Old habit. Habit from what? Gabriel looked toward the window with that same mysterious expression. Survival. That night, Sophia lay awake thinking. How could someone claiming to have nothing be so articulate, so resourceful, so prepared for everything? Gabriel slept quietly on the pull-out couch, but something about him suggested depths far beyond what he pretended to be. She walked to her bookshelf and noticed he'd arranged the books by theme rather than alphabetically. One book had a folded page. On it, written in her own pen, was a note. Your designs don't just build structures. They build dreams. Never stop believing in that power. Sophia smiled. For the first time in months, she felt less alone. The next morning, Sophia woke to the rich aroma of perfectly brewed coffee. Walking to the kitchen, she saw Gabriel moving expertly around her coffee maker, the one that had been broken for weeks. You fixed it? Just some loose connections. Nothing complicated. You know about electronics, too? A little of everything. Childhood curiosity. Sophia sat at the table, skeptical. One of these days, you're going to build a space shuttle in my living room. Only if it can make better coffee than this machine. She laughed, but her suspicion was growing stronger. Later, while preparing for another interview, Sophia walked into her bedroom and froze. Her laptop was open. Gabriel was typing something, and he quickly closed it when he saw her. "I was just checking something." The system seemed slow. "You were on my computer?" It was instinct. "I saw it open and thought I could help optimize." "You had no right." Sophia rushed to the laptop and opened it. Her architectural portfolio was on screen, but there were new additions. Professional revisions she hadn't made. "You changed my designs?" "I enhanced the structural calculations. Added some environmental sustainability features." "Your concepts were brilliant, but the technical specifications needed." "Who are you?" Sophia demanded. "What homeless person knows advanced architectural engineering?" Gabriel lowered his eyes. "I just wanted to help." "By doing what, exactly?" "Fixing my entire life without asking?" "Because I believe in your vision. Even when you don't believe in yourself." That afternoon, Sophia received an email from Morrison and Associates, the firm where she'd missed her original interview. "Miss Chen, we've reviewed your updated portfolio. We'd like to schedule an immediate meeting to discuss a senior design position." Sophia stared at her phone, then at Gabriel. "You submitted my portfolio?" "I may have forwarded it to a few contacts." "Contacts? What contacts could you possibly?" But Gabriel had already retreated to the bedroom, closing the door behind him. The next morning, as Sophia prepared for her interview, she found Gabriel standing on her fire escape, staring at the city skyline. "Aren't you going to wish me luck?" "You don't need luck. But you have it anyway. If I get this job, I might not need a houseguest anymore." "That's fair. And if I don't?" "Then I'll still be grateful for the time you gave me." She studied his profile against the morning light. "There's something you're not telling me." "There are many things I'm not telling you." After Sophia left, Gabriel went to the bedroom, carefully closed the door, and pulled out a hidden laptop from beneath the pull-out couch mattress. He opened encrypted files, revealing his true identity. Dr. Gabriel Morrison, former head of classified government research, missing for 8 months after discovering his life's work was being weaponized. His project Looking Glass, technology that could predict and prevent natural disasters, had been stolen and repurposed as a weapon of mass destruction. He'd been hiding, gathering evidence, trying to expose the conspiracy without getting killed. But now someone else was in danger because of him. Meanwhile, Sophia's interview was going incredibly well. "Your portfolio is extraordinary, Miss Chen," said the lead architect. "These environmental integration concepts. It's like you're thinking 10 years ahead of current technology." "Thank you. I believe architecture should heal, not just shelter. We'd like to offer you a position immediately. Senior Environmental Design Specialist." Sophia could barely contain her excitement. Yes. Absolutely." As she left the building, she passed a newsstand. A headline caught her eye. "Missing Scientists' Research Linked to Global Catastrophe Threat." Below it, a photo that made her blood freeze. Gabriel. But not the Gabriel she knew. This Gabriel wore a suit, had perfect hair, and stood in front of a government facility. The caption read, "Dr. Gabriel Morrison, vanished researcher whose stolen work threatens millions." Sophia stumbled home in shock, the newspaper clutched in her trembling hands. When she arrived, everything was normal. Gabriel was reading on the couch, as if nothing had happened. "How did the interview go?" "Gabriel." Something in her voice made him look up. "I saw the newspaper." His face went completely still. Is it true? Gabriel closed the book slowly, walked to the window, and looked out at the street for a long moment. Yes. Then why are you here? Why are you hiding? Because my life's work, technology designed to save lives, was stolen and turned into a weapon. And the people who stole it want me dead. Sophia sank into a chair. You're Dr. Gabriel Morrison. I was. Now I'm just someone trying to stay alive long enough to stop what I accidentally created. So everything, helping me, fixing things, improving my portfolio, it was all real, Gabriel interrupted, turning to face her. None of it was manipulation, Sophia. I've been running from who I was for months. But with you, for the first time, I remembered who I wanted to be. There's something else you need to know, Gabriel continued, his voice heavy with dread. What? The people hunting me, they've found me. And now they know about you. Sophia's phone buzzed. An unknown number. She answered cautiously. Hello? Miss Chen, this is Agent Sarah Blake, Homeland Security. We need to talk about your house guest. Immediately. Sophia looked at Gabriel, who was already grabbing his hidden laptop and a go-bag she'd never seen before. They're not here to help, he said quietly. They're here to finish what they started. What does that mean? It means we have about 10 minutes to disappear, or we both die. As sirens wailed in the distance, Gabriel pulled out a device that looked like a modified smartphone. What is that? A prototype. Part of Project Looking Glass. It can predict probability cascades, show us the most likely outcomes of our choices. He activated it, and the small screen filled with branching pathways, like a digital tree. If we stay here, we die within the hour. If we run separately, you live but I don't, and millions die when my research is fully weaponized. And if we run together? Gabriel's expression grew grim. Unknown. But it's the only path that gives us a chance to stop this. The sirens were getting closer. Sophia. I need you to know that everything that happens next, it's not about the scientist I was. It's about the man you helped me remember I could be. She grabbed her architectural portfolio. Then let's go build something better. They fled through the fire escape as black SUVs surrounded the building below. Where are we going? Sophia shouted over the wind. To find the one person who can help us expose this conspiracy, Gabriel called back. My former research partner, if she's still alive. And if she's not? Gabriel paused at the edge of the rooftop, looking back at the life they were leaving behind. Then we improvise. As they leaped to the adjacent building, Sophia realized her life had just transformed from designing buildings to help rebuild the world. But this was only the beginning. The real question wasn't whether they could outrun their pursuers. It was whether they could outrun the consequences of technology that could reshape reality itself. Because Gabriel's project Looking Glass didn't just predict the future. It could change it. And now, everyone wants to control that power. What happens next will shock you. Will Sophia and Gabriel save the world, or will their technology destroy everything they're fighting to protect? The answer lies in the most dangerous choice of all, trusting each other with the truth.